Ah, good stuff. Um, all right, sorry, Kylie, does that answer your question on how to piece that little statement together?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Got some bones to work with there. That's good. That's good stuff. Awesome. Uh, we'll go with Marion and then Ronnie and then finish up with Valerie. Is she frozen again or is she in deep prayer? Oh no, she hasn't frozen. Okay, there we go. Yesterday you were stuck in a position frozen. Now you're just sitting there looking at life.
No, I've got my workbook in front of me, but I
Awesome.
was just looking at the so with the vision sentence, how many different sentences is it wise to write? Is it just best to focus on one particular vision, which because let's face it, we probably all have lots and lots of different visions.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well,
is it
because
best
this
to
is an
try and
identity
like go,
statement, what I would
yep,
suggest is write down a bunch of them in the notes page or in another notebook, and then have a look and have a bit of a, if you just if it's like creative flow is just coming through you, write a bunch down and then have a look at them and go, okay,
yep,
how can I encapsulate all of what this is into a single sentence that I can use to remind myself, right? That I can actually use to tell myself, hey, no, this is the vision, this is
yep,
the direction, okay? This is the identity that I am becoming and that I'm stepping into. Does that make sense? Like when I do these, I have a bunch, and then I'll just go through and be like, okay, that one's pretty similar to that one. That one's pretty similar to that one. I can say this. I can say this part of the sentence like this, and I encapsulate three-quarters of it until I can
yep,
kind of reduce it down to something that's easy to digest for me.
yep. And so, therefore, is it good to be able to write your vision and have it, for instance, where you work or where you sleep, or like so that you're familiarizing yourself with what your vision is, so that when different setbacks occur, or things happen in
Yeah,
life, if you know it's not ultimately working towards your vision, then you want to you because I realize, yeah, if I go back in time, so many times I did have more or less a vision, but I wasn't really crystal clear on my vision. And I realized how many times I sort of petered off the track, which is why sometimes
yeah,
you can get to a stage and realize the vision hasn't quite got there because I got distracted or I ended up
yeah,
doing X, Y, Z, which got me away from my.
yeah. Well, here's my recommendation,
So
and
it's
this is how I
probably
would.
best to
Yeah, this is how I would run it. If you go down to section 4, you've got your integrated identity workflow. This is where you bring your mission, vision, and values together into one identity blueprint, right? And what I would do is I would put all of the 4 steps from here all the way down to step 6 is the what's one aligned action you'll take this week. I would probably leave that blank but what I would do is I would fill out, I'd go through all the 3 sections before, so mission, vision, and values, come down and complete
yeah,
this identity workflow. And I'd either print that off or have that written down and put one of those next to my bathroom mirror, put one of those in the back of my
yeah,
bedroom door, have one handy in the car, right? Because that integrated workflow has got the version of yourself that you're stepping into in the next chapter, which is your identity. You've got clarity on the
yeah,
mission. What's the long range direction? Does this identity naturally move towards? Okay, not what does it have to fight for? What does it naturally move
yeah,
towards it? Right, it's going to be a fight now because you're stepping into this version of yourself, but it's going to be natural for them when you get there. What are the values? What values stabilize this identity when a life applies pressure, which could be opportunities, it could be distractions. And then on to step 4. So, how does this version of me think? How do they speak? How do they behave? How do they respond to discomfort? How do they lead themselves daily? And then,
mm,
what's the
mm-hmm,
frequency does this identity broadcast out there into the world? And I would have that maybe written up, printed off. If you have in your bedroom, if you have like mirrors, does anyone have those big sliding mirrors on a wardrobe? Does anyone have those in their house? You got like the cupboards and
yeah,
it slides across.
yeah,
Yeah, so get whiteboard markers and write it up on your mirror. You know what I mean? Like write it all around. Obviously, not where you need to see your pretty face when you're getting dressed in the morning, but write different sentences, identity statements, or whatever on your mirror, and then you can have it up there for a week, and then you can rub it off and then write a different one up there. When my big
yeah.
target in my business, what was that?
One of my friends does that, and I found that really interesting. And I have seen teachers, obviously, because I've coming from a teaching background, that will you can actually buy things now that you can write on a window. It's the
Yeah,
same kind of concept, wherever it's really.
Yeah.
where you're going to see it. And I have heard of people having things in their car because yeah, there will be a lot of setbacks along the journey. But
Yeah.
I was reading something really interesting last night, and saying the importance of you might have an idea of where you want to be, or this is what you want to become, or you have that goal of exercising daily, or prayer first thing in the morning, whatever that may be for you. But sometimes there'll be distractions, and if you keep
Yeah.
reminding yourself every day, what is my vision, what is really
Yeah.
really want to get to, and that really resonated with me. Spoke about last night as well, that thing of if you're really clear in your mind, which I sort of really wish I knew this years and years ago, I would have probably achieved some different things to what I've achieved now. But
Yeah.
now that at least I'm learning the lesson, right, and I'm on the journey. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, because you can become easily distracted, or you have a step back and you think, oh no, I'll never get that job, so there's no point, you can get, or people might say, oh, do you really think that's the best for you? And you can listen to a lot of people that maybe not really speaking life into your life.
Yeah.
So having that daily visual reminder, I think, is really powerful.
Yeah, 100%. And
Mm.
one of the reasons I think doing it on the whiteboard is powerful. And yeah, Ronnie, kind of like a vision board. Vision boards can kind of just get left in the wind. Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
idea. But if all you're doing is a vision board, nah, you're missing out. But if you have a vision board in conjunction with BYC and that sort of stuff, that's great. But what I would recommend, Marion, and what I was going to say is when it comes to the whiteboard, the step 6 in that identity workflow is action calibration. What's one aligned action you're going to take this week that
Yep.
demonstrates that identity? Purpose of having the rest of it maybe written up on a whiteboard or have it just printed off and laminated and stuck to the whiteboard is or stuck to your mirror, sorry. You can change your action statement every week. So it's like, okay, this week, and write it down there every single day. This is my or write it up there every single week. This is the aligned action I'm going to take this week that's going to demonstrate that I'm stepping into this reality. Right. And it might be setting boundaries with friends and not becoming a counselor, or it might be, being more consistent with exercise 4 days a week. And that's my focus. And what you might need to do is you might need to have that up on your board. And it might be the same action. The same action might be up there for 3 weeks or maybe even a month until it's locked into habit. Right. But once you start doing it daily, you can then write another action up, or you can replace it and go, yep, cool. I've done that this week. That's all good. Now I'm going to focus on a different aligned action that I'm going to take this week. Okay, this is my focus for my actions and behaviors this week or this month, whatever else it might be. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And so one thing for me is, one thing for me would be gratitude. I went out 4-wheel driving just quickly with my dad this morning, and we went to a part of our property that was pretty intense, but we were looking out at a plantation, and he actually said to me, if I died tomorrow, I know that, what I've done has, exceeded what he ever thought. And I said, you've spent your whole life on doing what he's doing. And even that really resonated with me, because it comes back to what we were talking about last night about time
Yeah.
and being really effective with our time. That's why I think this
Yeah.
work is really powerful.
Yeah. So I mean, gratitude for the time you spent is great. And a great question to ask yourself would be, if I was to die tomorrow, would I be happy with the life I've lived for the last 3 months? Like if you die
I know,
tomorrow,
I
right?
agree with that. I think,
Yeah. Reflect on that.
yeah,
Make that as part of your identity. Make that as like the vision for myself as someone that if they were to die that day, they would be satisfied with the life they've lived leading up to that point. The last 3 months were
yeah,
exactly the kind of life that they wanted to live. Does that make sense? And don't let things like, oh,
yeah,
but I need more money. Well, don't let that stop you from living the kind of life that you want to live. If the life you want to live is living in mansions and buying Ferraris or, lavish holidays, I would say you're aiming for the wrong thing. Right? The reason you want to go on a
yeah,
lavish holiday is because it's going to create a feeling. You'll get a feeling of doing something, and you've created an association in your mind that I have to go to the Greek islands in business class in order for me to get that feeling. No, you don't. We can create feelings in any given moment. Does that make sense? So
mm,
money
yeah,
aside, and it's not
hmm,
like, okay, if I had $2 million in my bank, well, what if I only had $2 in my bank? How could I still make the last months of my life enjoyable if I had $2 in the bank? But what is it actually truly about? Are you connecting with the people that you care about? Are you really you're being of service to certain people? Are you being really grateful for yourself, for little things like we can go to the shops and buy a cold can of soft drink whenever you want. Like that is insane. That's actually like that's really wild to think about it. You can feel refreshed with a tasty treat in such a short period of time. And we kind of forget to enjoy those little moments because we're so busy focused on the big moments or focused on what we don't have. So I think for you, the version of yourself becoming that gratitude just becomes something that is natural to them. And I think one of the questions, well, not I think, I know one of the questions is what comes naturally. Does that make sense? So
As
gratitude
in
for the little
your natural
things.
gifts.
Well,
Yeah.
not just natural gifts. No, one of the I think it's where is it? Might be vision statement. Let me find it here. Sorry. Yeah, what becomes easy for this version of me? For you, it might be, you know what, for this version of me, this identity that I'm building and stepping into, what comes easy for that version of me is being really present and grateful with the small things in life and not hyper focusing
Yeah.
on the challenges and the struggles. Maybe now that's like, oh, I have to consciously think about doing that. But this version of yourself that you're stepping into with God at the center, maybe that just comes easy. It's just an easy thing for them to do.
Yeah. And I think it's a daily practice as well. Every day, getting up and reminding yourself about, yeah, just the small things that you're grateful for. And I
Yeah.
do feel like it allows a more enriching life as well. It's really
Yeah,
powerful.
100%. And something that I found, and this might be helpful for some of you, it might not. I don't get up and journal. I honestly I don't like journaling. I'm not a fan of journaling. But what I love doing is writing on my mirror. It's kind of weird. It's the same thing, but I love standing up in the morning, grabbing my whiteboard and writing something on my mirror. It's weird, like with a whiteboard marker. I'd hate to. I can't sit there and pull out my journal and diary. Ugh. But give me a mirror and let me. Okay, what's my focus today? Do you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
know I'm going to go to bed tonight. So what's three things that if I go to bed knowing I've done these things, you know, regardless of anything else that happens, I've had a great day. Prayer, time with my boys, a
Mm.
1,000 push-ups. Or it might be getting my marketing done when I was doing business stuff, or doing this or doing that, or whatever else it might be. Does that make sense? Like I'm journaling, but I'm not. I'm hijacking my own system to journal in a way that makes me think, aha, not journaling.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. And to touch on this, because I think this is a really great conversation to have when it comes to gratitude, even if you're not grateful for things, you can write down, well, what are the things I want to be grateful for? Like, I don't like my job at the moment, but I would love to be grateful for my job. I'd love to be grateful for the time I spend with these people. I don't like it right now. People suck. They annoy me, but I'd love to be grateful for it. And that'll spark a whole
Yeah.
different
But
part of your
then there's,
executive network firing up, going, okay, well, how can I be grateful for it? How about I look for moments to, instead of receive gratitude, why don't I look for moments to pour gratitude into my work, into my relationships?
yeah. Also, I think just being grateful that every day you wake up, you have another shot at life. I think that's really powerful because,
That's
yeah,
right.
so many people don't have that opportunity. So my gratitude has been tweaked, and I actually feel like the last part of my life, I have been happier, even though there's been lots of challenges. I've
Mm.
actually feel like I've grown a lot. So if I can impart that to other people, then because I know there's a lot of pain and suffering out there, then I think that's pretty powerful. Just being really mindful of the little things. It's really
Yeah,
important.
100%. Yeah, and that'll put a smile on someone else's face if it's coming from a place of true, genuine gratitude within you. You know what I mean? Like if you're having a conversation with someone, like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm just grateful that I woke up and I had air in my lungs today. That's such great. That's so great. If you're not genuine in that, people are going to feel it. But if you are actually genuinely like, wow, I'm actually really grateful that I got up today and there was air for me to breathe. Like I'm so grateful to God that my lungs are working today. And take a few breaths and just like, wow, like we're focusing on like how intrinsic and crazy is this 70 trillion cell supercomputer that has formed in a way that when I do this, oxygen fills in through this hole in my throat, this hole in my mouth, and sort of bypasses anything else and goes down another hole down here somewhere and enters my lungs. And then this entire system that, washes blood like the tide washing up against the beach and grabbing little bits of this oxygen to put it in. Like, that's cool. That's really insane. Like, I'm grateful for that. Do you know what I mean? And when you're sharing with people that you're actually grateful for, it's so authentic and it's so real. And sometimes it annoys people when you can be grateful for the fact the sun is shining and they're like, that's just, that's a good kind of annoying.
Mm, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful. But there's a lot in the 6 steps. But I guess it's also, I'm a big believer in like the 1% rule every day, working 1% towards where you want to be or what you want to achieve. I think that's quite empowering as well, because sometimes you can feel overwhelmed if it feels like how you're going to get from A to B,
Yeah,
expecting too much too soon. I think just trying
yeah,
to work a little bit every day towards being the best version of the you that you can be is more achievable for me than expecting realistic.
yeah. It's the old, how do you eat an elephant? Like one bite at a time. That's literally what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. All right,
Thank
does that
you.
help you? Yeah, that's all right. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Ron Dole, give me a second. All that wonderful stuff I said about how cool it was. The sun just cranked the heat. I'm turning on the air conditioner and closing the doors. Give me a tick. How are you, Ro?
Pretty good. I just got home from uni, so
Oh, nice, man.
I'm about to go to dentist as well. So I've got to make this kind of quick.
You're right, dude.
Um,
You're right.
but yeah, I haven't had a chance to open up the workbook. I have an assessment due from uni on Friday that I just found out about yesterday.
Oh,
But
yeah,
from
it's like that.
what I overheard, that's my fault. That's not. Yeah. Anyway, my bad. Yeah. But yeah, from what I heard, like with the mission statement, like the vision, I've kind of always done something like that, and I've like
Yeah,
for as long as I can remember, I've always sort of said to myself, well, like, what's the whole point of this? Well, for me personally, I just sort of decided that I wanted to leave the world a better place than when I arrived, and to do that as much as I possibly can. So anytime, any chance I get where I can make a decision to make something better in some way, I've just chosen to take that path, kind of thing.
yeah.
If that's going along with what you guys have been talking about.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. There's a nuance to the vision because what it is it's not the vision that I mean what you're sounding what you described as more mission based. Like my mission in life is to leave everything in a better space than I found it.
Yeah.
But the vision statement for this is all about your identity. So it's the vision of who you are becoming and who you want to become.
Yeah. Okay.
Not necessarily like, okay, the vision of how I see my life or, what the vision for my business or the vision to do with goals. It's the vision of your identity statement. Does that make sense? Not like, okay, I had this vision of having this great relationship. It's more like, no, I have this vision. My vision of myself is to become the kind of guy that can make any relationship great.
Yeah. Yep.
Does that make
Gotcha.
sense?
Yep.
So, and
Yeah.
that means that
Gotcha.
the vision of myself is someone who is emotionally regulated. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Because then it's that version of you, that identity, that's the one that's stepping into a relationship to make the determination to make this great or to not make it great. Rather than saying, oh, my vision is to have a great relationship, and then you, as you are, showing up in that relationship, hoping the relationship will be great. That's the wrong way to go about it. It's I want to
Yeah.
be the kind of guy that can create and hold and maintain a great relationship. That's the vision I have for myself. Now it's workable. I can do something with that because that's about me and how I'm showing up.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
makes
No, that
sense.
makes
It's not like, oh,
perfect
I
sense.
want to have this business that's bringing me $1 million a month. It's like, no, I want to become the kind of person that can create and maintain and manage $1 million business. Oh, okay. Now we're like, what do we need? Okay, well, we need consistency, we need momentum, we need to surround ourselves with intelligent people. Do you know what I mean? Rather than saying I have a vision of being surrounded. No. Like, what is the identity? The vision of who we are becoming.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense. I like that.
Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
and what you described, like that's the mission. Like my mission in life is to leave the world or leave everything in a better place than when I found it. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Which is great because if it's your studies or if it's your business or if it's a relationship or if it's your backyard or whatever else it might be, your mission in life, and that's a great life directive, is regardless of what you're doing, this
Mm.
ultimate identity, this integrated version of you is going to put himself in a situation where he can leave something in a better place than he found it, a better way than he found it.
Yeah.
Right. So now we've got a mission statement that's aligned with, so like a mission is a life directive that's aligned with the identity of who you are becoming. Right.
Yeah.
And the third
Gotcha.
section of values is what are you going to place importance on in order for that to happen? That makes sense?
Yeah. Yep.
What is the value system in order for this version of me to be created, and in order for my life directive, my mission to be accomplished, what must I place importance on?
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yep. No, that's
Yep.
awesome. And I
Yeah.
like
So
what
it'd
you
be
said
like,
about the 3 months ago too, because when you put it in a perspective like that, it seems to change everything. Hey.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
Mm.
awesome. I've never heard that before, but that is, yeah, that's really interesting. I like it.
You're right. You can take that to the bank.
Yeah.
I was about to say we can talk about it more next week, but there is no next week with BYOC, so this is it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good stuff. Did you have any other questions or anything else along those lines, or short, sharp, sweet, keep it simple today?
Nah, pretty good for me. I'm happy just sort of listening and catching up. That's yeah, that's awesome.
Yep, sweet, sweet, awesome. Cheers, Ronnie, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Valerie.
Yeah. I found it last night. I found it really difficult doing this. I just couldn't step into it. And this morning, I was having a talk with myself to try and, work it out, if that makes sense. And I'm just thinking, why am I trying to work it out? It's supposed to come naturally, like, what is it? So I guess I was making it more complicated than I needed to in amongst that. But I think for me, starting at the end and working backwards works for me.
Mm.
But I don't really have that end result yet.
Yeah, see, that's a challenge, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah.
I've never been goal set. I've never, like, I've just made a decision. Never really worked out how to. I mean, done the steps along the way as I go, and it's worked out. So yeah,
And
it's
that's really, really great for a season. And that's really, really great to get you to a certain point. But if you want to get beyond that
yeah,
point that you continuously get to, then the way that you've done things in the past isn't the way for you to do things in the future.
yeah,
And so, and I know a lot of people struggle with this. I've struggled with in the past is like create a 5-year vision or a 10-year plan and work backwards from that. It's like, oh, that has been challenging for me in the past when my direction, all those sort of things has been based off a business model or a this or a that. But when I look at this in the way of okay, let's make this identity instead of
mm,
reality. Let's make this who we are instead of what it is we're doing. Then we can say, well, in 10 years' time, like regardless of what I'm doing, this is who I want to be. Right.
mm,
I want to be the version of myself that follows through on the small tasks they're going to do. I want to be the version of myself that has got all of their finances in a row. They're just financial, like really financially literate. They understand they can do their own taxes or they know where every single dollar is going. That's really where I see myself, right? Because I want to be financially free. I want to be, financially educated. I also see myself just not that that's not being triggered anymore. Okay,
mm,
so this ultimate version of my feed, I'm just not triggered whatsoever. Right?
yeah,
I've done the work, I've done enough work, I understand enough about it. I am no longer triggered. When an emotion or something comes up, I'm able to go, oh wow, that's actually really interesting. And have a
mm,
conversation with someone and park my emotions and be able to still be present in that conversation. Does that make
mm,
sense? When I recognize that someone's, maybe speaking over me or trying to make me seem small, by that stage, I've really understood enough about language, about communicating people to be able to hold my own without and not allow someone else and disengage if I have to, or instead really work on some of those psychological questions I can ask them, which instead kind of flips the effort and energy they're trying to put on me to make me feel small and instead makes them really take accountability for the fact that that's what they're trying to do in that moment.
yeah,
Does that make sense? That
yeah,
version of me is just so confident to speak on stages in any given moment. That person just understands 100% their business, their niche and all those sort of things. That person is just structured. All right, which is a trigger word for you in the moment. That person is just they not every 15 minutes, but their days are structured. They're able to complete their tasks, and they have enough time to be able to go on holidays. Maybe 3 or 4 times a year to just pack up when they want to and go disappear down to Byron Bay for a couple of months, or go check out Bondi, or go up to North Queensland and visit Townsville and not go to the hospital. Do you know what I mean? Like the specific details around, oh, I want to have this business and this, and this. You can still work backwards with identity when you work around and have a look at, well, what are the things that I actually am actively working towards changing now?
Yeah. And it was funny you just said that about the communication and stuff on that. Remember how you said, why is my friend psychoanalyzing me? He said it this morning himself to me. He said, it's okay, I'm just psychoanalyzing you.
Yeah.
And I had a laugh.
Yeah.
Because I remember that conversation you had in the beginning, right? So
Yeah.
he admitted it. And it was
There you go.
just funny. It was,
Yeah.
yeah. But on that note, traveling with a business in Australia is my ultimate, I guess. So
There we
yeah,
go. You do know what you need to do.
yeah. Oh, it came to me today. It
Oh,
wasn't
awesome.
there
That's
last
great.
night.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So that's something to work behind. Even if you don't know exactly the business model or whatever yet, that's what you want to be doing. Right.
Yeah.
So now you can reverse engineer from that, traveling online, digital business. And it might be the one you're building now. It might be something slightly different. It might be an evolution of what you're doing right now. Who knows, right? Like you don't necessarily have to know those details right now, but you can start to build the identity of someone who has an online business and they're traveling around Australia while working on their business. You can build that vision. You can build that identity.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? What's
Yeah.
non-negotiable for them? You know what I mean? Like, well, marketing, sales, and business systems and being structured is non-negotiable for them. I don't even know, excuse me, what business model they're going to be running or what they're going to be doing, but I know a non-negotiable for them is going to be, having their calendar scheduled out and, completing tasks, maybe having AI employees or maybe working with a small team that's able to run and manage some of the smaller detail. That's going to be a non-negotiable. And that's also going to be one of those things that becomes easy for that version of you.
Yep.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. That structure word. Yeah.
Is there another word? Is it organized or is it just all things?
No. It's I don't get triggered by it. It's just more so, okay, how can I do it? I mean, I did things this morning that I knew I had to do, and it was just all right.
Yeah.
I'm just doing it, right?
Yeah,
So
look, 100%. And it's one of those things that no matter where you end up or what you do, there's always going to be elements around what it is that you want to do that you don't like to do. And in this instance, it could be structure. Once you lock down structures and organizations, it's going to be something different. Like it's always going to be something. At least things like structure, it's a really simple fix. Do you know what I mean? Like jump into Claude AI or even ChatGPT and say, hey, these are the tasks that I have. This is the total amount of hours I have in the day. Can you just create a loose daily structure of time blocks in 3 hour lots? Like so simple. And that little thing just there, like that's enough for ChatGPT to go, okay, we'll focus on your creative. It'll say, do you like to do creative tasks first? Do you like to, if it doesn't, say, please ask me questions about myself to figure out how to best do this. These are the things I don't like about being structured. This is how I really like to live my life. Ask me a couple of questions so you can really help build this thing. And it might wake up and go, okay, wake up and do this for the first time block. And you might go, oh, no. When I wake up, like I need to have a coffee, I need to be creative, I need to be flowy. So let's bring creative and flow state tasks into here. And let's focus on nitty gritty tasks after 12 p.m. when I've had my coffee and I'm locked in. Or it might be like, I just want to get those tasks out of the way first. So let me do that in the morning and then flow after lunch. Like either way. But structure, I love structure as a problem because it's so simple to fix.
See, I don't see it as simple yet. That's the problem.
So that'd be one of the things that you'd write. What becomes easy for this version of me is creating structure. Does that make sense? Yeah. And sorry, I just want to ask, did you say you don't see it as simple or you don't see it as easy?
Simple and easy is the same to me.
Really?
I don't see it as
Yeah. Well, I mean, can I share with you some nuances in in the language model, and that might help you
yeah,
spark new creative ways of thinking?
yeah,
Pushing a car is simple, but it's not easy.
yeah.
You stand behind it, you lean forward, you push. Very simple, but not easy.
Not easy. Yeah,
Does that make sense? There are some
yeah,
tasks that are super complicated, but really easy to do once you build a little bit of muscle memory around it.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like learning sign language, for example, when you kind of know what you're doing, it's a really simple, like it's a simple task when you think about it. You're just moving your hands around, and those hands mean letters.
mm,
All right. Or sorry, other way around, right? Like it's a challenging, difficult task to learn, but it's easy to do because all you're doing is moving your fingers, doing some
yeah,
little shapes and
yeah,
dance moves. I don't know. I don't do sign language. I probably just offend people racially when I try and do sign language, right? So think about that and go, okay, hang on a sec, Valerie. Let's pause right now. Okay. Because if I think simple and easy mean the same thing, if I say it's not simple, I'm saying it's hard. Is it actually
mm,
hard?
no,
Or and see that there's the nuance. So go, okay, I
yeah,
need to identify for me, is this simple? Uh, or is this easy? Or is this hard? Or is this difficult? Or is this structured? Like where does it sit? If I know where it sits, I can
mm,
find a solution for it, or I can at least stop making it worse inside of my head by saying it's not easy. And then my brain goes, oh, it must be hard. Let's just put it in a too hard basket. Let's make a
yeah,
threat around this and a loop around this.
yeah, yeah.
Would it be helpful for you if you were to have an AI bot or agent that you could plug into your business, and all you had to do was give it your tasks and give it access to your calendar, and it would create for you uh, a structured
Yeah,
day of tasks and lists and
yeah,
timings, and yeah.
yeah,
If that's true,
yeah.
come along on Saturday night. Jade's going to be coming in to do a masterclass, and I think she's
Okay.
going to talk about our AI bots that she has running and operational. I think,
Yeah, okay, cool.
don't quote me on this, but I think she has a subscription to access all of her AI bots.
Mm,
This is something she offers the women in her world because she works with coaches exclusively. Um, yeah, and that's one of the things she has, and she does for her clients. They'll say, "These are all the things I have to do. Here's my schedule." She chucks it in her AI employee, her AI bot, and it'll rework, go
yeah,
into her calendar, go into her Gmail, go into her clients, everything, and just create structured and organized day. It'll also send you reminders every 30
yeah,
minutes or whatever. It's like, okay, you've got this task coming up soon. Finish off on this task, go and have a 10-minute break, and then get into the next task.
yeah.
But we can have that chat Saturday. So good stuff.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Does that help you get into some of the things we spoke about?
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's the categories, breaking things down into categories for me.
Yeah. Well, that's something that you can do. Chuck some music on. Have a look at all your tasks and say,
Yeah.
okay, which tasks are creative?
Yeah.
All right. Which tasks are technical?
Yeah.
Which tasks do I enjoy? And which tasks make me want to drive hammers underneath my fingernails? Does that make sense? And then go, when do I want to do the fingernail tasks? Let's just get them ones done first. Or maybe go, well, actually, I kind of want to do a creative task and then get into a fingernail task and then finish off the creative task again. Or I got to finish my day on something flowy,
Yeah.
something I enjoy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like eating veggies before you eat the steak. Sometimes you have to do it. Or other
Yeah.
times you might go, you know what? I'm just gonna embrace the suck. I'm gonna put all my fingernail tasks, right? I'm gonna have my kick my toe on a cold winter morning tasks. Every single one of them I'm just gonna smash out on Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'm gonna do 3 hours of absolute living hell. I know it's coming. I'm gonna be loaded up with coffee. I'm gonna have my music on. I'm gonna chuck on my steel cap boots, and I'm just gonna start kicking toes. All right, at least then it's done. I'll hate it. I know I'm going to hate it. No one's going to like me. I'll be road raging that day later on. All right, smacking my husband around in the afternoon, but at least it's done for the week.
Be like me cleaning my shed yesterday.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes those tasks, like I need rage. There's certain tasks that I won't do until I've kicked my toe. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Or if like I'm like, oh, I'm so angry and frustrated. Oh, I'm going to do this task now that I've been avoiding for 6 weeks. For me, it's my spare room up in the house. Like I kind of I don't like that it's dirty and messy, but I won't go in there unless I'm real angry. Do you know what I mean? And then I'll clean it and I'll be like, I'm never letting it turn into a junk room again. And then 3 months later, there's a bed frame in there and cat's toys and chairs and stacks of old pillows and random stuff. And I'm cleaning up, that can go in the junk room till later. Right? Like, I'm not saying replicate what I do. It's not an effective strategy, but my big mission in life is not to have a clean junk room. My mission in my house is to have a room where if I'm not feeling like cleaning something, I can just check some stuff in there until it gets so frustrating and I get so annoyed that I need something to do with my anger. I'll get in there and I'll just do a big cathartic cleaning session.
Yeah.
Yep. Again, not recommending you do this as your coach.
No, but
just
that
sharing
is me.
authentically my
That
faults.
is me in every room, not just one.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Slightly off topic, but hey,
No, it's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I think definitely write one of those categories and call it like the
Yeah.
coffee and toe kick, or toe kick and coffee tasks, something along those. I don't know, just something where it's like, yeah, ripping band-aids off you guys. Josh, do not call me. If I call you with a problem, don't you dare tell me to think positive. I can guarantee you I will not think positive. I will make sure I stay off social media afterwards because y'all ain't gonna like what I'm venting. Put the praise music on if it helps, just do whatever, but just get them all out of the way.
Yeah.
And what you might find is where you're at in business, that will change. It might be that I've got these tasks that I have to do these tasks every single week. It might be like, no, I only have to do these once a month, and they're just teeth grinding tasks.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Just block them, nail them, and then they're done.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you. I like your 4 categories. Thank you.
Yeah.
Make it simple.
Yeah, it's right. It's not hard. It's not complicated. It gets to be simple, but it's like everything. Like tying your shoes used to be hard and complicated. Now it's simple. Riding a bike used to be hard and complicated. When you used to coach people, it's like qigong used to be difficult. You didn't know what you were doing, but you did it, and now it's easy. It's the same
Still
with
figuring
creating
it out.
structure.
Come on.
Yeah, yeah. It's the same with with creating structure or insert whatever your task is that you struggle with.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Sound good? Cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, we've been through everything we have. All right, any final questions? Anything else that you guys want to unpack at all? On our last Thursday session for the foreseeable future? No. I think I spoke to you guys last night that I was going to keep these open, but again, I'm probably not, to be honest, at least not for a little bit. I've got a bunch of replays to catch up on. I got a bunch of studies and exams and everything due in the next season. So I'm going to hold off on these. What is going to stay open though is the school portal is going to stay open, and the group. I'll keep the group chat open. If you guys want to hit me up, chuck a voice note in there. I'm more than happy to answer you guys and do those sort of things with voice notes. Just for the foreseeable future, I've removed a bunch of people that don't want to be a part of it anymore. That's cool. There's only going to be 5, maybe 6, maybe 7 of us in there. And once I've finished with the UK crew, if any of those are still interested in the BYOC stuff, they're going to amalgamate with you guys as well. So it's just all in the one chat. Again, as I mentioned, you guys are welcome to show up for the next 3 Saturday night calls. That's now at 7 p.m. We're no more daylight savings anymore. Oh, hallelujah. All right, I don't have to say my time. 7 p.m. the next 3 Saturdays in a row, cracking into some marketing, some sales, some business administration, all those sort of things. Other than that, that's it. Keep an eye out in the Call to Christ group chat that I've put on there. It's not going to be a great deal of activity yet, but we're going to launch it. It's looking like May 2nd. We're going to launch the first live call in there. Those 2 are going to be held Saturday nights, 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. I'll get a time sorted. That works well for the international time zone, works well for people in America, and it works well for people in the UK as well. So that's looking like it's going to be a juicy and a healthy time zone to go in. What else have we got? I think that's about it. That's it, guys. Goodbye. Goodbye, BYOC. What are we